Yes guys, it's here. Hello everyone, today I'll be continuing, or actually concluding, my LEGO Hero Factory Savage Planet set reviews. I've still got the combiners to do. I've got them ready to upload tomorrow, the reviews, but this isn't about them, is it? It's about this guy, Witch Doctor, which has been a pretty requested review from me. So here's the box. I'm not actually going to touch the front of it since I've had to really bring this camera back a bit to actually get it in the frame. It's pretty big. I don't know what happened to LEGO's size reduction of boxes. It's about the size of Maxilos's box from 2007. Yeah, 4 years. That's probably a bad comparison. Here it is though. Compared to Rocket XL's box. Yeah, pretty big. But as you can see, Rocket 3.0 has white writing. He has black. And the green on his box is chipping away, whereas on Rocker's it's like staying strong. So I guess that's like the Mystica, where they kind of had a different thing going on for the villains. I think it's good. But the background here, I have to say, it just looks awesome. The background on all of these is phenomenal, but I mean this especially. See a yellow raw jaw there. I mean, not to go over the box, but I really like this. I'll switch it around now. It's basically the same as Rocket XL's box, it's just been enlarged for this format, so you can see the battle, the comic depicting how the Savage Planet saga or story began, and the other stuff that people don't really care about. You only get one manual with the set, but it's a pretty thick one, but with not many interesting ads in the back. So, here he is, Witch Doctor. Get the ball. So as you can see, or should I say just about see, because he's absolutely gigantic, he is a big figure, a very big figure. Now, this helps with the building experience, and the building experience on the whole was pretty goddamn awesome. Much better than this guy, who rips off a design of a previous set, Firelord. Witch Doctor has a completely new design, which you can tell there's been a lot of work put into it. I mean, just look at all this. This is, I mean, just, especially the leg design. It actually looks really great. Sure, the posability isn't the best, but I'll get onto that later. I mean, the body as well, it just looks great, really. Switching it around. It is completely original. It's very fun to build. He's a very chunky figure. And when you're building the hips, especially, it doesn't even seem like you're building a body. I mean, it's that original. He has got quite wide hips, though, to be honest, to connect the huge legs, of course. Moving back a little. But building experience, it's original, it's quite long, but in a good way. It's fun. I mean, it's just everything you'd want a set this big to be. It is pretty challenging, though. It only took me about 45 minutes, less than an hour definitely, to build this set. It definitely wasn't the worst LEGO set. I mean, worse as in time-wise to build. It was okay actually, but it is a great experience. So now, parts of interest. Pretty big figure, so this might take a while. Firstly, I'd just like to point out one thing. This guy is a white part overload. He has 7 of these alone. And, I haven't even counted these parts. 2, 4, 5, and 5, unless one has snapped off somewhere, and 5 of these shield pieces that we saw in the 2.0 line for their weapons. Now, for new pieces on the whole, though, let's have a look. Now, I'd like to point out this piece first on the hip. I don't actually know if it's new, but this is the first time I've seen it, and it actually looks pretty good. It's good for technique being incorporated into the new building system. It's definitely shown with this guy. He has quite a few of them and they work pretty well. Now, let's have a look for new parts. Well, firstly, we've got one of the paw or giant hand pieces, like on Scorpio, is being used for a piece of armour up the top of him, right by his neck, and it looks pretty good. It has 2 connection points on this guy specifically. It attaches on here like this, and then there's a clip underneath, so then it clips in like that. Now, other new parts, the skull, of course. Let me just bring this down. I'll lay the whole figure down to start off with. Now you get 2 of these, and to just prove they're identical, here they are together. Obviously he found this skull on the planet Quatros, and he combined it with some quasar, and it transformed into this, the skull staff, and it transformed him into the vicious tyrant Witch Doctor, and him meaning Aldous Witch, because that's who Witch Doctor truly is, a former professor at the Hero Factory. Back onto the set itself, these pieces are really nice. Like the other Savage Planet helmets, they're pretty detailed, and they just look really sleek going down the front here. They look pretty menacing, but they don't look like they're very intelligent, you know. Makes them look like a bit of a dunce. But I digress. Now, you get a lot of these in this set. Quite a lot of them. They have been seen before, but they've been recoloured in this set to red. It's a pretty nice addition. Just spices up the mix of colours, I guess you could say. Another recolour. Don't need that. I think this is a recolour at least. I'm not a fan of Ben 10 Lego, but it's one of the tails from those sets in white. You get 4 of them. And they clip on round his head and shoulders, and they look pretty nice. Now, what else? We have the corrupted quasar spikes. 4 of these on this guy, just like the tails. The blend of black and red's really nice. And maybe the skull is even controlling him, even though he thinks that he's the master of all of the beasts, you know. Well, he is, but the skull is in turn controlling him, maybe. He's been driven mad by it. But, anyway, I'd just like to point out before we go on, these red ball joints here, apparently, this has been listed by Front, a LEGO parts designer on Eurobricks. There's 36 of these in this set. 36. Should we just check in the instruction manual? Actually, 39. You combine about at least 6 of them at once. At one point. I mean, it's just a red ball joints overload in a good way, actually. Now we've got the Mari tubes here. I'll snap one of them off, being used as a rib cage type thing, and they're in white. They look pretty good. There's also red tubes that you get extra in the set. So I guess you can choose which colour ribcage you give him. It says white in the instructions, but if you look on the box, it's red. So I guess it's just for you to decide. I've just put the white ones on, since that's what I saw in the instructions. I should really cut this part, but, you know. Now, I think that's just about it for new parts. He rehashes a lot, but in a great way. I still like the building experience. It's great. Also, another new part we have here, I forgot to mention, was this wing slash tusk slash pincer slash blade piece featured here on the launcher along with this shield. And apparently this staff was reduced in size, as many of us saw in the prototype. It was pretty big with a black skull. It was reduced because they wanted to make this bigger. I'd have preferred the prototype staff, to be quite honest, but you know, Lego is a bitch with design sometimes, you have to admit. Now, let's look at playability. Now for the legs, they can move well at, I'll say, the lower knees and the feet, and the top of the legs go back and forth and back and forth, but the middle of the knees here, they can't be put straight, they have to be kept like this. So it kind of makes him look like he's got horse's legs sometimes, and hinders the range of motion. I mean, if you try to bend them forward, it'll snap. I don't want to do that because it also takes ages to put back on. But the articulation on the arms are pretty good. They can go all the way like that, and forward pretty easily to cast some spells with his skull staff. So, yeah, that is my Witch Doctor review, I'd say. Gone over the packaging, building experience, parts, and playability. So, do I recommend this set? Yes, definitely. It's a bit pricey, but definitely worth it. Best set of the line, and Hero Factory so far. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with my combiner reviews.